Escaping, on the move, Mahomes stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
It's Hurts, it's a deep ball, looking for Devontae Smith, what a catch! Inside the 5.
Hurts going deep for A.J. Brown, he has got it! Touchdown, Philadelphia!
I don't know how you stop this offense when it comes to the dynamic aspect of their run game.
Mahomes hurt. None of these guys available right now. Does he have another rabbit in the hat?
They've combined for 32 total wins. The Eagles and Chiefs will be playing for Super Bowl 57.
Don't call it a comeback.
Hey, the Super Bowl is back.
Yeah, I heard about that, Shazier. Matter of fact, I confirmed it with my own 2 eyes when I arrived here in Arizona. I am coming to you from Radio Row. It's the best weekend of the year. Maybe it's the saddest. Last game till our favorite game is back in autumn 5-0. The Chiefs and Eagles are set to face off in the meantime here in Arizona with the Lombardi Trophy on the line. And believe it or not, there are several comeback stories in this game.
Hey, plus, Kyrie is out of Brooklyn, and KD has a long road ahead of him if he's trying to get to another finals. And hip-hop made a comeback at the Grammys. From Wondery, I'm Ryan Shazier.
And I'm Dave Damashek.
And this is Don't Call It a Comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been waiting on this moment my whole life. Can't call it a comeback. Everybody to your feet, make arenas rise. Yeah, I'm saying from the left to right, we get it on tonight. We do it all, but we don't back down. Just give me one shot, one chance, I'ma take it. Fixing up the game, but these records I keep on breaking.
Hey, Shek, the Super Bowl is just days away, and we have a few comeback stories to cover.
Yes, we do. Let's start with the Chiefs coming back to their first Super Bowl since losing to the Buccaneers in 2021. And they're doing it with Pat coming back from a bad ankle injury. You know about that just a couple of weeks ago. Can they get their would-be dynasty back on track this year?
I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about the Chiefs this game.
All right, well, I guess it'll be settled by Sunday night, right? And how did the reworked Chiefs roster make it back here without their star receiver, TYREEK Hill?
On the run to the end zone. It's caught on his back. Valdez-Scantling's over 100 now for the game.
On the other side, Philly went into rebuild mode after moving on from Carson Wentz. Did you, Shazier, predict them being back in the Super Bowl so soon?
Not really, especially with all that Jalen negative talk. I didn't think that this team was going to be here this year.
Well, I mean, you can count me among the skeptics too, but Jalen Hurts is coming back to his first championship game since being benched against Georgia in the 2018 national title game. You remember that one, don't you? Down in Atlanta, Shazier?
Hurts, take a look in the backfield. Wanted to throw downfield. Hit and sacked from the blind side by Devin Bellamy. Tua Tagovailoa, a true freshman from Hawaii, gets the second half start.
For more on the big game, we've got a former Chief here with us. He played for Andy Reid. His brother won a ring with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, of course. He's coming to us from Radio Row in Glendale, Arizona. Hey, that's where I am, too. One of my all-time favorite pro football players. And hey, one of my favorite fellas, period. It's Geoff Schwartz. You're covering the Super Bowl for Fox and your own podcast. How are you doing, fella?
I am fantastic. Thanks for having me. It is always a fun week to discuss kind of everything that have to do with this game, but then kind of see friends and people in the media and talk more about football. We just spend a whole week talking about football. What's better than that?
Hey, man, what's up, Geoff? How you doing, man?
What's up, buddy?
You know, Andy Reid, you know him pretty well. He's been to 4 Super Bowls in his second in 3 years. With you playing with him, like, what make him able to keep doing this with new lineups?
Yeah, I think that what makes any coach the best is their ability to adapt and evolve, right? And we see throughout the years, Andy Reid has always changed what he's done to either benefit the change in the league or to just, around his personnel, right? Forever he was a 2-back guy, right? Well, now you get Pat Mahomes and now we're a shotgun offense and we're going to try different ways to get Mahomes in the best position possible. And he's just always adapting. He's always evolving. He's always, okay, we lose Tyreek Hill. Let's find a way. Oh, number 1 offense again this year, right? So he's always adapting and evolving. And there's a trust level, I think, between him and the general manager as well. They played 4 rookie defensive backs this season, at least 25% of snaps, plus a rookie defensive end. There was a moment in the Bengals game, they had 5 rookies on the field in the fourth quarter. So there's a faith of, okay, we drafted the right guys, we developed the right guys, let's get them on the field to play, and let's see how they do. So I think all of those reasons are the reasons why he's here each year. It's the ability to adapt, evolve, trust his personnel, and just go for it. Obviously, 15 is still very helpful. It's great to have Pat Mahomes there, but he's always evolving, always adapting. And you see him on the podium. You see him talk to his players. You even saw him embrace the Eagles players that he had drafted. Like, there's just a love for Andy Reid, man. He's just a great human. He is a great coach, and you want to win for him. Like, there's this loving bit of Andy where like you want to win, and it's really fun to play for him, and you could tell the players love playing for him as well.
I was skeptical of where the Chiefs were going to go this year in this transition away from specifically. Yeah, well, okay. But you could understand my skepticism about transitioning away from a guy who's tracking towards the Hall of Fame, an uncoverable guy in TYREEK Hill. Talk about the transition specifically, not in broad strokes about his ability to adapt, but what goes into modifying your offense to the degree. I mean, TYREEK Hill was unstoppable. You take that away, and yet the team thrives as much as it ever has.
Well, what it forced the Chiefs to do, and really what it forced Mahomes to do, I think, was just be more efficient with where the ball goes to, right? And, not that he wasn't reading coverages correctly, not that he wasn't, not that he know where the ball was going, but it meant that there was no safety valve in TYREEK Hill. There was no, I messed up. I read the defense wrong. Okay, I'm going to run around and find TYREEK Hill. He'll make me right. Now, that guy is Travis Kelce, but there's less of that than I think than there was obviously last season. And they still have the explosive play rate, which is pretty high, but they just do it differently now. And they're just a much more efficient offense. Right? Balls out, boom. Balls out, boom. Okay, I'm going to take advantage of this guy. Done. Balls out. And I think it allowed them to really spread the wealth. I mean, they're going to end up having 10, 11 guys catch passes on Sunday. Like, it allows them just the ability to get a lot of guys involved, spread the defense out far and wide. And look, they're still missing that guy. We saw in the Bengals game, there are times when you can lock up this team in man-to-man. You double Kelce, you get physical with Juju and MVS, and it's really hard to generate an offense against man coverage at times. But they still do it because they're so creative and they find ways to get it done. So they can still use a TYREEK Hill type next season. I think that's the one adjustment they will have to make on offense moving forward. But the ability to just to allow more efficient play was the reason why I think they got rid of TYREEK Hill.
Hey, Geoff, I want to ask you this. Is Andy Reid the best coach in the NFL?
I think right now it's hard to argue otherwise. I think Bill Belichick is the greatest coach ever. I think right now Andy Reid is ahead of him, right? I mean, just if we're talking about right now, like where would again, Belichick's the best ever. Andy Reid's probably second best if we're going all time. But right now in the NFL, it has to be Andy Reid, right? I mean, look at what he's done. Again, he lost the maybe best wide receiver in the NFL, and the offense was just the same this season. They're playing all these rookies. They're back where they're 14-3, or really 16-3 now. We've lost 3 games by 10 points.
With that being said, the last time the Chiefs lost, their O-line was not able to stop the D-line of the Buccaneers. The Eagles had 70 sacks this year. They lead the postseason with 8. They have more sacks than anybody else in the playoffs. Do you think the Chiefs' line is up to the challenge this game?
At times when the Chiefs play a good pass rush, I felt that Andy Reid has been a little too conservative, right? He's gone kind of the conservative route and not been as aggressive. And I understand that, right? But I will say, like, the Chiefs' offensive line is not that bad, right? They're
really good compared to what they were.
And you have to find creative ways to scheme up help. And they do that. Like, if you watch them play, they don't just align the running back next to the tackle and have him chip, because defensive ends see that as well, and they can change their pass rush. They have backs come from the other side. They have tight ends motion in. They slide help. They screen. They chip. They cut. Like, they have so many different ways they build and help. And what's really going to be important for me is the Eagles' first down defense, because if you keep them, if the Chiefs are the best in the NFL at first down, if you limit their production on first down, it makes them theoretically third and long, right? Third and long is where, again, the help has to stay a little bit longer, where you're in those pure pass rush situations. 3rd and 2 is different. 3rd and 3 is a little bit different, right? It's easier for the offensive lineman to just quickly block and the ball's out. Plus, you can run the ball on 3rd and 3. Like that's the thing the Eagles always do, obviously. But for the Chiefs, like there's opportunities to run the ball in those situations as well. So, if the Chiefs continue to win first down, I don't think it'll be as important. But if the Chiefs can't win first down, you're in those 3rd and long positions. It's not good because look, you can't help both those guys. You can't help Orlando and Wiley. You can only help one of them. People don't realize that when you help, that's one less guy in the route, right? And the Chiefs offense, they flood a lot, right? Like they have 3 or 4 guys in a route concept on one side of the field. And the tight end and the running back are part of that flood concept. And if that running back and tight end now is used as a chip guy and not as part of the flood, well, that's one less receiving option. So it makes your pass game, going back to what I said about man coverage, it makes those guys have to win more one-on-one, and it's not really what the Chiefs do as well. So there's a whole part of this where you don't really want to chip if you don't have to. So I'm curious how the Chiefs end up, kind of piecing together a game plan to protect Pat Mahomes, but also continue to run their offense.
So everybody that's listening and trying to understand what he mean by flood, basically he means that 3 or 4 guys are on the same side of the field. So basically the running backs in the flat, tight end is about 5 to 7 yards. Then you have somebody else that's doing like a deep route, like almost a go route. So you have 3 to 4 guys on one side of the field, if you guys just trying to understand what I mean.
Well, it's interesting. You're talking about pass concepts, and we're talking about the QB league, and the best in the QB league is Patrick Mahomes. But even here in 2023, Geoff, is Braun making a comeback in pro football? It seems to me that the story of 2022 NFL has been the teams that were able to transition into playing more physically, or the teams that were wired that way coming into the season, specifically the Philadelphia Eagles at the line of scrimmage. But even the Chiefs started to run the ball more and more down the wire with Pacheco and McKinnon. Is that a trend that you think that the QB league is also a copycat league, that more and more teams are going to try to load up at the line of scrimmage? O-line has always mattered, but it feels like it matters a little bit more right now.
Well, I think where you see that more than anything else is the 13 personnel now, right? The one wide receiver and the one running back and 3 tight end personnel group with 1 wide receiver. Because as even going back to, let's say, 15 years now, when college offenses went to this spread offense, right? And so to combat that, guys on defense are getting smaller, and those smaller guys on defense are now going to the NFL. And and to make to now you have the smaller guys on defense. Well, guess what? Let's put a tight end on one of those smaller linebackers or smaller safeties now, right? So like there's this kind of this ebb and flow of personnel, and we're at the point now where you have, I think, offenses trying to get a little bit bigger. The ability for Jalen Hurts to run the football is such a plus for this run game. Like it's hard to put into words as an offensive lineman, like how great it is to see a lighter box, to see guys having to fit runs differently because they're worried about if Jalen Hurts will keep the ball or not. It's awesome. Like you get these good box counts, like it's great. And so I think people do not, I know that we know Jalen Hurts can run the football, but his ability to manipulate a defense because of that is so impressive. And it allows the Eagles to be that good in offense rushing the football. If they were traditional, like, we're going to get under center and run the football, yeah, they'd still be good, but I'm not sure they'd be as efficient they are now, because it's a different type of offense, right? But the ability to run these great box counts, to shove guys off the ball, the way they do for linebackers to kind of not fit exactly right because they're worried about Hurts keeping the ball, man, it's really fun to watch.
And it feels like that transfers to me. If they can push around the Niners on both sides of the ball at the line of scrimmage, why would the Chiefs be able to offset that? That's been the trend the whole year. With those couple of games that Hurts sits down towards the end of the regular season, notwithstanding, this has been a juggernaut that just physically manhandles everybody. I suspect that's the way this one goes on Sunday.
If I were the Chiefs, I would force Jalen Hurts to keep the ball in every zone read. When you watch him run, he does not seem as healthy as he's been in the past, which is a story that I bet we'll find out his shoulder is worse than we thought it was after the Super Bowl. I would force him to keep the ball and take those hits. That's how I would do it. Then you avoid having to have those defensive linemen basically take double teams on because Jalen Hurts is keeping the ball. I would force him to keep the ball every single time and live with the results. That's how I would do it. We'll see what Spags does.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, but it is the last game of the year, and you basically should just, balls to the wall, just throw everything you can at it. I really feel Jalen can hurt you with his legs. He's that type of player, but they have the weapons outside. So one thing that's really interesting to me, and you know, the Eagles, everybody thought they went all out when they won their championship in 2018. To me, I expected them to go all out and then basically, you know, crumble like most teams do that spend all their resources on trying to win now. They're already back in the championship in 2022, 23 Super Bowl. How do you think they were able to make a comeback and reload this quickly?
Well, it's very simple. Your defensive line, offensive line are all guys mostly you drafted, right? You had a couple additions here and there. So like, boom, like that's you say, look, Carson Wentz is not working. We're moving on. Like, goodbye. Like you can't, if you don't think a quarterback can do it, move it along. Like, there's no point anymore just waiting 2 years to say, oh, is he our guy? Carson Wentz not our guy. Bye-bye. See you later. And then they're just good. They fleece guys in trades. Like, they have 2 first-round picks this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they got Darius Slay and Gardner Johnson and A.J. Brown this year. So they have a combination of, they have this base via the offensive defensive lines. They said, look, Carson Wentz, bye-bye, see you later. Get out of here. So they have the young quarterback on the rookie contract. And look, they're going to have to deal with some contracts coming up as we all are. The Chiefs are in a spot where they're in the best spot of anyone because they've already paid the quarterback, right? So the Eagles still have to pay Jalen Hurts to figure out from there. But that's why they drafted well. They hoarded their resources and they did it right. Okay, bye Carson Wentz. Like, you're not good enough. See you later. And Howie deserves credit for that. A lot of teams stick by their quarterback one season too long, and that one season can really cost them.
I'm curious. I don't know if you heard, there are a couple of brothers going head-to-head in this Super Bowl. What if Mitchell and Geoff Schwartz reached the Super Bowl and we're going head-to-head?
Yeah.
Who would Mama Schwartz root for? Now, the Kelce brothers' mom is the belle of the ball, wearing her split jersey all week around, and it's great to watch. How would Mama Schwartz come down on this one? Who would she be rooting for?
So I think she'd root for my brother because he's the young one. Like he's I think so. That's my guess. She root for Mitch.
Split jersey though?
Oh yeah. No, we've done that. We've done it in college and the NFL before. So we went split jersey. I did like their dad's answer when they're asked like, who are you going to go see first? He said the losing brother because I feel like he would feel bad. I was like, that's a great answer. Like yeah. But like how cool is that? First of all, you have 2 brothers playing the Super Bowl, and both of them are going to be Hall of Famers. Like you have 2 Hall of Fame brothers playing the Super Bowl. That's like the coolest thing, man. And it's so awesome that they get to kind of just have like not a stress-free Super Bowl, but like it's a unique experience. No one ever has ever had this experience they're about to have this weekend.
Yeah, another thing that's kind of cool with me, and we're going to get you on record because we have to get you on record. Yeah. Both of them already have a Super Bowl. So
yes.
that makes it even easier. So it's like if they lose, obviously nobody wants to lose the Super Bowl. But if they lose, it's like they're already Hall of Famers. They already have one. So, now it's just bragging rights who can get more.
Yes.
But I have to get you on record.
Yes.
Who is your prediction to win the game and who is going to be the Super Bowl MVP?
So I'm going with the Chiefs to win the game. And if you pick the Chiefs to win the game, the MVP has to be Patrick Mahomes, right? Like the Chiefs are not winning this game with an MVP that's not 15. So that's where I'll go with there. I think the Chiefs win this game like 30-28. Like it's going to be a high-scoring game. I actually think the under hits on that one. But I'm going to Chiefs 30-28. Mahomes is the MVP.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go the opposite way with you than you. I'm going to have to go with the Eagles, and I think it might end up being somebody on the defensive line.
It would be the first time a defensive lineman has ever won an MVP Super Bowl. So I think a lot of people are thinking maybe Hassan Reddick or whatnot might win the award. It'd be pretty awesome. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, they're really good players. But one thing I want to say, Geoff, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being with us. And, everybody make sure y'all catch Geoff Schwartz. He's smarter than you. So appreciate you, man.
All right. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Peace.
Don't call it a comeback.
All right, 5-0, time now for some other comeback stories in the news. We got to give them a look, even though it's Super Bowl week. This is the check down. I don't know if you saw it there, 5-0, but my own Indiana Hoosiers basketball team knocked off top-ranked Purdue over the weekend. SHAZIER'S, Indiana basketball making a comeback.
To me, it depends on what you mean a comeback. Championship teams, a dynasty, not dynasty, but just one of the premier basketball schools, I don't know. But just to beat the number one team, to make sure that people are starting to remember who they are, I think that's the type of comeback that they're going to make. I don't see Indiana being a premier blue chip basketball school, because it just sometimes when schools are gone for so long, I just don't see them coming back and being what they once were. But hey, you just never know. But I don't see it.
Well, that's stinking thinking there, 5-0. But either way, you're from a blue blood football school at Ohio State. I thought that it was cool that the kids ran out onto the floor, but apparently some curmudgeons frowned on that. They thought it was wrong for current Indiana University students to run out onto the floor to celebrate because of the blue blood status, as if those 20-year-old kids gave a junk about what Bob Knight did in 1987. I think
it was nice. I thought it was nice.
I thought it was a lot of fun. Kyrie Irving demanded a trade from the Nets 1 year to the day from James Harden doing the same. Now Kyrie is teaming up with Luka in Dallas, and the Nets are down to one superstar at the time of this recording. 5-0, can KD win a title without any all-star teammates?
I just don't see it. And the reason I don't see it is not because KD's not good enough and not because I don't think KD can take a team to a championship. I just think it's extremely hard for somebody to win a championship by themselves, especially in the day and time of sports that we live in. There is no sports team that you can think of that just won it by themselves. Giannis had Chris Middleton. The Yankees didn't win it, but the Astros, they had all that wonderful talent that they had on the team. If the Chiefs win it, you got Travis Kelce, you have, Juju Smith-Schuster, you have Chris Jones, you have a lot of these wonderful talented players. If the Eagles win it, the Eagles team is a super loaded team. The Lakers have Anthony Davis and LeBron, and then now Dallas have Kyrie and Luka. I just don't see KD going through the East by himself, beating Jason Tatum, beating Jaylen Brown, then beating them, then now going to beat Milwaukee, then going to beat the Cavs. I just don't see him beating all those teams by himself. He's going to have to drop 50 a night, and I still don't think that will be enough.
Well, perhaps my question will be moot, as Jesse Jackson once said, or at least the character playing him in an SNL bit once said. The question is moot because maybe KD himself will move on. DeMeco Ryans is coming back to Houston, the city that drafted him back in 2006, except for now he's the head coach. Shazier, what are your expectations for Ryans' reunion with the Texans?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I did not want him to go here. I'm just completely honest with you. I just feel Texans is one of those franchises that's almost doomed to fail. And I hope, if I ever get into coaching, they don't listen to this particular podcast because you just never know what our future entails. I don't know if I'm going to get into coaching or not. I think DeMeco Ryans is a phenomenal player. He was a phenomenal coach. I just don't like the situation that he has in Houston. They have some pieces, they have some draft picks, but I just don't like the ownership. I just don't like the structure of the team, and I just hope they give him time. It's really exciting to see an African-American male get a head coaching job in the NFL because a lot of times they don't get these type of opportunities, and especially with Houston being one of the teams that is particularly it doesn't favor, African-American coaches as much as other teams. I just hope that he's treated right. They give him the time to actually build a team, him and the GM actually build a relationship, and he can do well. When it comes to the coaching side of things, I think he can do phenomenal. I just hope that him and the front office can get on the same page.
Yeah, they have some nice pieces. The draft picks are there for them to load up. They can get the franchise QB. You would assume that that's what they're going to do with their first pick there. I love the fit. I love the story of a guy who played for the team coming back and now serving as the head coach. And I hear you. That has been a star-crossed franchise since they came into existence. Let's see if one of their proudest alumni can turn things around for him. Brian Flores has been hired by the Minnesota Vikings to be their defensive coordinator next season. Shazier, how long before he's back as a head coach in the NFL?
I think he's still kind of going through that lawsuit or whatever he's doing with the NFL, so I think it might be a little bit of time. I feel that he's definitely one of the better coaches in the NFL. He was proving that when he was in Miami. You know, Mike McDaniels has the team now. They played well, but Brian Flores did the same thing with a team that wasn't as good as the team that he has now. You know, so me personally, I think Brian Flores is a phenomenal coach. I spent a lot of time with him. I spent time with him when I was going to Steeler practices, going to their camp, and I think he's going to lead that team, especially turn that defense around in Minnesota. They definitely need a phenomenal defensive coach over there. I just think it's going to take them a little bit longer time than you want. I always tell people, and this is a situation, obviously this is not the same, but you know, if you sue the owners of McDonald's, you know, it's hard for them to want to give you a manager job again. You know, so I think he's going to earn his job back. I just think the situation that he's in right now, especially what's going on in the NFL and the climate, he's going to find his way back. I just don't think it's going to be as soon as he deserves it.
Yeah, the off-field stuff that got so sideways with him, not from anything that he did aside, boy, that NFC North figures to be pretty rugged come next season. If you assume that the Bears get it right with some draft picks and help Justin Fields out, here come the Lions. Here come the Vikings with Kevin O'Connell. Now you assume the defense will be a little bit stronger. Packers in last place in 2023? We shall see. The Grammys celebrated the 50th anniversary of hip-hop this week with performances from Missy Elliott, Big Boy, Run DMC, Queen Latifah, Questlove, Method Man, Public Enemy, Busta Rhymes, DJ Jazzy Jeff, the Grandmaster Flash, and many greats. Shazier, who's your favorite old-school rapper?
So I'm going to just have to go with just the normal, the Biggies, the Tupacs, because the thing is, I have to, you guys always say I'm young but old. I'm 30 years old, so it depends. Like right now, somebody would say Andre 3000 is an old school rapper, and somebody would say JC's an old school rapper. But if I talk to Gabe, if I talk to Andrew, me and Tasha are like the same age. So, and Quincy, we're kind of on the same page. I would say Jay-Z, but Jay-Z is he old school. So if you're going like that, then I would say, probably Tupac. I have a few of his albums. I actually have some vinyls of Tupac at my home. I think he's a great artist, and he would have been a great artist if he was still alive with us today. But if you don't use if I don't use a Tupac type of guy, it'll probably be Jay-Z or Andre 3000. I loved Outkast when I was younger.
I got to tell you, Shazier, I know I'm a square, and this doesn't change that fact. But when you were about 3 years old, 4 years old, in diapers, well, you probably weren't in diapers. That would be weird. But either way, I was going to see Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul around Chicago. That doesn't make me cool, but those are my favorite old schools to answer the question. And you know what? That's it, Shazier. We'll continue to debate the world of hip-hop, sports, and all the comebacks out there. But for now, that's it for this episode of Don't Call It a Comeback.
So make sure to follow, rate, and review us on wherever you're listening. Make sure to check us out on YouTube and click that subscribe button on the Wondery channel so you don't miss an episode. See you all next week.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been waiting on this moment my whole life. Can't call it a comeback. Everybody to your feet, make arenas rise. Yeah, I'm saying from the left to right, we get it on tonight. We do it all, but we don't back down. Just give me one shot, one chance, I'ma take it. Fixing up the game, but these records I keep on breaking.